Hello, hello. If you can hear me, please type a 1 in the chat. Welcome, welcome. If you are able to hear me, type a 1 in the chat. Anyone who's been in my lives before know that I like to come early or exactly on time so that I can start early so that we can finish early. I'm going to put the link. Okay. I got it. Yes. If you can hear me, let me know by pressing 1. If you can hear me, let me know by pressing 1. I feel like I'm super low. Let me see. Nope. Hi, Rhonda. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me pretty well, Rhonda? Okay, great. Okay. So I don't need to type it. Alright, you guys. So, yes. Awesome. Welcome, Audra. How are you? Is this your first live coming into? Is this your first live? So, I just want to say welcome to everyone. Hopefully there is somebody coming in to tell their story about joining a cult, but we're going to focus on carbonation for the time being, when it pertains to narcissism, the different types of emotions pertaining to narcissism. And if you want to share anything, I just put the link in the chat, so feel free to come up. If you have anything you want to share, you are more than welcome to come. um I love for people to talk, for have this to get discussions going. So do not be afraid. This is a safe space. Don't forget to hit the like button as you come in. Please hit the like button. It helps my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and share this video with anybody, everybody, as many people as you possibly can. So I'm going to begin. And so I'm just talking. We're going to be talking about emotions because, as you see, oh my God, when I see what's going on, it's just never ending, you guys. It's like so much drama. But I like to try and focus on the things that are going to help us, you guys as listeners, me as an individual, and move forward from there. So let me see if I can share my screen. I wanted to show you guys something. Okay. So I was looking this up, preparing for tonight, and let me know if you can see that. Can you see that? Okay. And so this is what's considered a circle of emotions. When we think about narcissism and narcissists, we think about them not having emotions, which is different. That's separate from a sociopath. Narcissists are different from sociopaths, and sociopaths have no emotion. Narcissists do, and that's why it's so tricky to deal with them. We see, what is her name? They call her Natiri. We see Natiri coming back, right, or proclaiming Nature Boy's kingdom. We see Malia, who is stuck in this divisive, self-deprecating situation where she continues to I guess feed off of whatever she gets out of Nature Boy. And she may even go back, like physically go back, once she is out of the hospital. And we try to grapple with, okay, what does that mean? Like, how is he able to do this? And thank you. Thank you. How is he able to do this? And one reason he's able to do it is because He is not a sociopath. He's a narcissist. And what that means is he takes those emotions, those natural emotions that we have. Um, and people forget that emotions, there's not just like five or six. There are multiple emotions, many emotions. And if you look on here, some of the emotions are aggressiveness, optimism, love, submission, alarm, awe, disappointment, disapproval, remorse, contempt, pride, hope, guilt, fatalism, curiosity, despair, envy. The list goes on and on and on. And so he takes these emotions. Audra, I want to. We unfortunately we have to be realistic because we've seen time and time again people who denounce him then go back. And if you notice, Malia has never denounced them, and that's what scares me. She hasn't even, it hasn't even clicked to her what he did to her. And for most people, it clicks. Like when they get out, they have a fresh, like, their mind is fresh with new thoughts, their own thoughts. She hasn't even experienced that yet, and so unfortunately, it's very possible that she'll go back. Physically go back. Mentally, she's already there. Yeah. Yep. Okay. This is distracting. Give me 1 second. What is that? Is that on banner? Oh, okay. That is distracting. All right. Yes, she's very stuck. She's very stuck. And if you've ever been to my channel, y'all know I try so hard since learning how to do the screen share. I still try not to have carbonation, any of them speaking on my channel because most of us have already seen what is going on. If you have not, please go to the T, check her videos out. I support that channel 100%, maybe 99%, with the exception of Velvet. But please go to her channel. She is by far the best in my opinion, with sharing the knowledge as well as being an advocate for the members who need to leave. Yes, the emotion. Please, if you this is not a class, but if you want to take notes, that is perfectly fine. Because people need to, I guess, have something to reference when you are in the real world. Because we see this online. This is, thankfully, this is a lesson in itself. Seeing what these women are going through. The longer she away, she will start seeing clear. That might have been true if she didn't shut her family out of her life, if she didn't decide not to allow them in her presence, not to allow them in the hospital, that would have been 100% true. I would have agreed with you, Rhonda. But because she is continuously talking to Nature Boy on a daily basis throughout the day, um, it's very it's very unlikely that no matter how long she's gone, um, that she'll stop supporting him. She'll stop uh, proclaiming whatever it is that she believes he teaches. Um, yeah, she's stuck, and the only way for her to get out at this point, the only way for her to get out is if somebody is able to um, put her in an institution or some form of like um, therapy or some form of a facility that she loses rights to make those decisions on her own. Hello, Lady Solo. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Um, okay, so here's if you see the chart, here it is. There's another one. Let me know if you can't see it. Let me see. I'm not sure if I can make it bigger. Let me know. All right. Can you see it? Did it get bigger for you? It got bigger for me. I'm gonna exit full screen because I need to talk to y'all. So yeah, and she is still online with Nature Boy doing live chats. But I just saw where she told him she didn't feel like doing it. She kept participating for another 5 minutes though. Oh, okay. That's a start. Absolutely. That's a start. Okay, so that is definitely a start. She may still go back, but she's starting to realize that she has just a little bit more power, a little bit more say so away from him. And that is always, that's like a million steps forward. Okay. And yes, hello to everyone who is in here, who is, not actively commenting, but are listening. Welcome. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask questions. And so we're talking about, again, range of emotions and how narcissists use those emotions to manipulate and control their members. Um, there was someone in the tease chat, um, in the comment section, that I really would hope that she is able to make it tonight, or he or she is able to make it and share their story, because they confessed that they were in a cult themselves, and I can't remember the person's name, but they were in a cult themselves. So it would be amazing for you guys to hear firsthand experience. But okay, so when we think about those emotions, if you have written them down, or looked over them, if you've looked over them, then these are very advanced emotions, right? You have your core emotions, which are like sadness, happiness. Let me see. It'll tell you. You have those primary emotions: anger, joy, fear, sadness, disgust. Those very, very basic emotions. And then you have these more, what they would call, combined emotions, or more specific emotions. And what I'm noticing is, for narcissists, the emotions that they lack control of are, those negative emotions, those extremely negative emotions. They lack control of them, but they are easily to manipulate others with those emotions. And there are two types of narcissists. So you have, before I even give it to you, before I give it away, does anybody know what the two types of narcissists are? What two types of narcissism? So, and I'm not referring to, um, I'm not referring to, whether or not it is a quote unquote passive narcissist, um, or not, but like someone, like how they control their emotions. Does anybody know? When it comes to emotions, there are two types of narcissists. Think of Donald Trump. What type of narcissist would he be? He's, constantly boasting about himself. Okay. So I have no takers. That's all right. So we have a grandiose, very overly positive narcissist, someone who believes in themselves, more than anything else in the world. And then you have crazy and cray cray. I like that. They both the hell crazy, absolutely. But you have crazy, that can be perceived as positive, and then you have narcissistic or cray cray, for someone who's very vulnerable, or it can be translated to negative, right? So when you look at Nature Boy, which one is he? Grandiose and yes, grandiose and malignant. Correct, correct. Go ahead, Audra. I see you. I see you. Yes. Which one is Nature Boy? Which one do y'all think Nature Boy is? And then which one does he portray to be? Anybody know? All right, I'll give you 2 more seconds. If you don't know, that is okay. It's all right. So Nature Boy is great. You think so? Hmm. Nature Boy, both. Okay, it's possible. I would say it's possible, meaning, um, for a malignant or negative or vulnerable narcissist, um, they are able to put on a mask. They're able to hide those very negative, very shallow emotions. And absolutely, he covers those vulnerable parts of himself with these very grandiose behaviors or ideologies. Praising his private parts, saying they're their biggest, um and praising his looks. But we know it's a facade. It's a facade because, number one, he okay, so he remember when he was like breaking out real bad, and he just looking nasty. If you go to some videos from the T, like a little bit further back, you'll see his skin was nasty. You could tell he was very insecure. He barely showed the men because, y- you know, I think he barely showed the men because he was feeling so nasty about himself. And so what he did was he started bringing more women, and he'll bring more women. He'll make a sex video. He'll do something to make himself feel good, or something to make people think that he feels good. Yeah, he has to have all the titles: chief, honorable, exactly, Jesus, Baba. He even claimed in the beginning he's not religious, right? So why are you calling yourself Jesus? Why are you taking on these religious names? Um, why are you calling yourself the Messiah? Because he feels like nothing inside. He feels like nothing. He's empty inside. And so when you're empty inside, um you have to kind of replace it with something. And so that's what he did. He replaced those negative feelings, or covered those negative feelings up, with the constant boasting about himself. There was a video where he actually said that it was not him in the sex tape that he made with the white man. It was not him, because the penis of the person in the sex tape was too small. Okay? I want y'all I want y'all to think about that. Even though the person was him. And so it's a lot of projection. You'll notice a lot of projection. And that's where the malignant comes in. The grandiose is to make you think that he's spectacular, amazing, to make people desire to be with him, desire to be under him. But in reality, he's very, 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 very ashamed of himself. So absolutely, you can be both, or you can be one and pretend to be, or cover up with the other. Yeah, first he said it was him, then he said it wasn't. Whenever he gets onto a new platform, the person in the video was not him, until the video surfaces on the platform he's on, and then he admits. I mean, I don't know how many times this man has admitted and denied the same video over and over and over again. Um, and so and so when we look at the narcissist, we break him down. He's nothing, right? He's very shameful, very envious of others, very embarrassed, and just a low vibration, just very low vibration. So when it comes to cults, and cult personalities, I want to kind of like talk about and dive into what makes them, number one, attract others. What makes them attract others to them? And we've kind of talked about it. Their grandiose personality. We live in a society where we worship or we praise people with those grandiose personalities. Think about your managers. Think about the leaders of this nation. Um, Anybody who's had a boss, a CEO. They have to present themselves with extreme confidence, right? And they have to be very firm, very it'll be difficult for you to change their mind about things. And so they have to always feel right. And those are the people who get praised the most. So it's not hard to become narcissistic or have narcissistic tendencies. It's not hard at all. Get praised enough, and anybody could develop narcissistic tendencies. Go through enough trauma, and you can become a narcissist, and develop those behavior patterns. But what makes a narcissist turn into a cult leader? Let's explore that. What do you think makes a narcissist become a cult leader or a cult personality? What do you think makes them become a cult leader or cult personality? I'm so curious to hear what other people have to say. I have 6 people in the room right now. Do not be shy. Do not be shy. It's only us. Has anyone ever met a narcissistic person who seemed to want to draw people into them, multiple people? A lot of self-hatred, and they really sick need to lead others into their nothingness. So let me just say this, Audra, you are on the money. Like you're very close. You're very close, and so what Nature Boy just wants to be a pimp. That's not no that's not no cult leader. He has a cult personality. I agree. He's definitely, when it comes to cult leaders, he is a failure. Lady Solo, he is a failure. Oh, I think I got somebody who's, what is this? I don't know. Uh-oh. Don't mess my screen up. Hmm. Okay. Nature. Okay. So Okay. So pretty much, what makes a narcissist become transition to a cult leader is, Audra said it, is the desire to suck people into their misery. Pretty much, misery loves company. And so in order to kind of suppress the whatever happened to whatever their their pains were growing up, whatever their traumas were growing up, they want other people to feel it. They want others to feel it. They want power. All the things that was taken away from them when they were younger, that's what they want now. They want to regain that power, or finally get that power that they didn't have when they were younger, when they were vulnerable. And what better way to do it? What better way to do it than tell people that you are somehow, build up that grandiose personality, and tell people that you are chosen, because you had to tell yourself you're chosen to deal with those traumas. And so now you tell other people you were chosen. And if you tell it the right way and you sound good, and you make people perceive that you are actually chosen, guess what? They're going to follow you. They're gonna follow you. They're gonna be like, oh my goodness, this person is saying something. What's up, Killam? Hello, hello. So is that the only emotion they can feel powerful? No. Oh no. They can feel empathy. Believe it or not, they can feel empathy. They feel empathy for themselves. A lot of the things that they feel are internal. Like all those positive emotions are internal. They only feel it for themselves. Um, but they can feel anger. They can feel um, just about every emotion. They can feel fear for sure. They can feel love for themselves. They can feel disapproval, remorse. Maybe not remorse, but contempt. They can feel pride, hope. They're they can be very optimistic in the sense that they don't believe anything can have bad happen to them. They're always finding a way out. They're very optimistic in that they can believe they can get out of anything. Um, and envy, they can definitely feel envy. Hey, hey, what's up? So they can feel everything, but only for self. They can feel positive things for self. Positive things for self. And then when you get into the negative aspects, like such as envy, such as shame, such as anger, hatred, those things, they push them out immediately. Those emotions they push out immediately to others. They blaming you for the things that they feel that you didn't do right. What's up? If you're coming in, please hit the like button. Even if you don't stay long, please hit the like button for me. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, what would you say, or how would you see Nature Boy as? In terms of what? In terms of what, Lady Solo? Because like just on a late conversation, I would say he is a coward. He's a coward. He's definitely nobody's cult leader for real, for real. But he wants to be. He wants to be. Like a serial killer who has admirers who try and practice to be whatever it is that they want to become. But they're just not good at it. That's him. But I do believe he has all the characteristics of a cult leader, except for um he's not as methodical as we want to believe. He's not as methodical and as knowledgeable and smart. He's not smart at all. um Cult leaders are really, really, really talented and good and knowledgeable, and that's what's scary about them. Is because a lot of cult leaders can go decades, decades, and milk people for hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars. Um, and they can develop these like abilities to get you to believe their personality is one way. Nature Boy doesn't have that power. He doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have that self control. Number one. Oh yeah, yes, I have seen him sucking his thumb. Yes, I have. And that's what I'm saying. He's one of those people where he watched the cult leader. He was impressed by the cult leader and what they were able to accomplish. And he said, you know what? That's going to be my new hustle. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Does anybody think that Nature Boy is actually a cult leader? What about you, Kellum? You think Nature Boy is a cult leader? Foodie, if you still in here, you think Nature Boy is a cult leader? Have you heard Star going off on Ryan D? She sounded crazy. I wanted to do a live about that, but I chose to be a little bit more educational tonight. Um, we can sidetrack a little bit for a little while, but every time I sidetrack, I be on here for like ever. I'm on here way longer than I want to be. Um, oh, you know what? This is actually perfect. This is the situation with Star and Ryan is actually perfect. If you were in my last live, if you were in my last live, I had mentioned that something didn't feel right about Star. Ryan D, we know he's something. We know something ain't right with him. I looked up his father's cult, and I know something is not right with him because of the lifestyle his father lived, because of the cult itself. Just something doesn't seem right. There were um, somebody was convicted, actually convicted of molestation in his father's cult. I believe he may have done drugs. For it looked like he supported his father up until he was excommunicated. So there's something there. But Star, she is for sure. She is for sure borderlining those narcissistic tendencies for sure. But see, let me tell you something about narcissists. And if you are around one, if you listen to one, if you absorb their energy for long enough, you will start to develop that personality. You start to develop those ways of thinking. And what was she saying when she was in the car, Foodie? What was she saying? What did she keep saying? Yeah, she was trying to act tough, bullying, talking madness. She was trying to act tough. You think he's a cult leader? Okay. Um, Foodie says no. He don't think. Foodie, are you a female or male? I'm gonna say it wrong. Foodie doesn't think Nature Boy's a cult leader either. He's very influential. He has characteristics, but he lacks. It's something about cult leaders. They are very intelligent. I don't know how and why. But he's not. Yep, she went crazy. Do I think his heart is in the right place? Hmm. I think he's one of those people who does things for justification, like for instant, I'm sorry, gratification. He does things for gratification. And like if you look at the videos he posted, he wanted us to know that he, tried to take down sex offenders. He wanted us to know that he did something with the media concerning his father's cult. I think he's a person who likes attention, who likes to be recognized. There's nothing wrong with that. If you can get the job done, there's nothing wrong with that. Right, exactly, Audra. She was shouting. He better treat her like a goddess, and something about her bloodline. Who did that sound like? It's true. You do it for self defense. You go to get bucked too because the narcissist will push you there. Yes, yes. And so for a very long time, I did not. I mean, I really have this like secret disdain for Aya and Velvet. Um, but I'm starting to kind of see how I think they already had, some of those. those things that make, because people don't understand that females can be narcissists as well, and all narcissists aren't as bold and as loud as Nature Boy. What do they call it? Boy, oh boy, it's like it's like a synonym for passive narcissism, but it's not that word. I'll figure it out if I keep thinking. Um, Empath. There we go. So empathic narcissist. Um, and people forget that women can be narcissists. Oh, okay. Foodie, awesome. Okay, so I can say she. Hey, girl. Um, Maybe he's just a cult leader with really low expectations. Nature Boy has low expectations for sure for himself as well. I mean, but listen, but think about it, right? Cult leaders are very they micromanage. They want to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. They can do what everybody's supposed to be doing. They just know how to manipulate others to do it. Nature Boy was getting robbed, based on what Shaka was saying. He was getting robbed by his own crew. I mean, come on, you guys. Cult leaders are more aware. Let's just say that they're more organized and they're more aware. That's how they become a cult. Yeah, and he kept making a point in the car with Star that everybody kept saying he couldn't get this black woman to work with him to take down a black man, etc. Making it all about him. Yeah. Oh yeah. He has his own ulterior motives. Um, I heard Ryan in the beginning, and the only reason why he brought up race is because people in the comments were going at him. And Foodie, that is the problem I have is with the community. Is why do there's an issue with people outside of our skin color, right? We ask for equality, we ask for peace in some forms, we ask to be recognized as human beings, and then there are community members who say we are better than another group. We are gods, and they are like our. What Carbonation says they're low. The black man's lower self. We don't want them to help us. We complain about them not helping us, and then when someone does, we complain about them helping us because they aren't a part of our community, and that is so confusing to me. That is so confusing to me. Like, do you want the support or do you not? And I really wanted to talk about tonight manipulation, because if you see, like, everybody who's coming out, everyone who's coming out um has either, hey Ree, how are you tonight? Hi, hi. Everyone who's coming out is coming out against someone else who has come out. What is this woman's name who came out to was it tonight or today? Did T post it? Mistrust. Oh, absolutely. It's okay to mistrust, to have a general mistrust. I think that's healthy. We are all human, right? But at the same time, so for instance, I live in the hood, or what used to be the hood before gentrification, and there was a mistrust for young black men wearing hoodies, standing on the corner. You get what I'm saying? But that didn't stop me from understanding that didn't apply to every single young black man standing on the corner. And I didn't think that somehow I was better than them. I didn't think somehow they don't deserve, like, if I tripped in front of them, they didn't deserve to help me up. If they want to help me up, fine. I think we have to stop living in fear of living in fear of the other, because we're going to end up just like the people who oppressed our ancestors. We're going to end up just like them. Fear turns into hatred. I think I'm so aware of narcissists that when Ryan appeared to be acting like one, it was a turn off. However, I was like, let his ego take down Nature. Exactly. Nature Boy's demonic ego, and we're all good. Oh, there's a quote. Ooh, you guys, if you haven't already, please go to my video. I just made a video. I just dropped the video a couple hours ago, an hour or two ago. Go to my video. I did a lot of research for that video, and then only added about 5 minutes worth of content. But I want to read you guys a quote. This is, who said this? Okay, what they call, what's his name in Carbonation? Loyal. So Loyal's real name is Amar, and one of his quotes that he said in a video, he probably didn't even realize what he was saying, was, "It takes a monster to stop a monster." So we claim, that the white man is so evil, but do they get the job done when they want to get the job done? Did he say he had the connections? Was he taking Star to those connections? So, just food for thought. If you want to stop a monster, sometimes you need it to be a monster to stop him. Why you say yikes, Foodie? What made you say yikes? Hmm. I'm here for it as well. I am so here for it. Oh yes. What, isn't it deep? Isn't it deep? But I mean, come on. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, I gotta put that somewhere, because it's so true. It's so true. We have bacteria in our body, right? I was in the medical field for 6 years, and you learn different things. We have very dangerous bacteria in our body to fight off dangerous bacteria outside of our body that try to infiltrate our body. Do we discard those bad bacteria inside of us? No, because they're working for us. And so you have to kind of look at Italian Ryan the same way. He may represent a community of people, physically, you know, that is considered like a bad person, bad people. But if we can use whatever it is that he has, those very powerful connections, then we got to do what we got to do. And whatever his motives are, they'll come to light. They'll come to light eventually. But for now, we need him. Her crazy Star's crazy ass ran away. She ran away when we needed her to be there the most for her community. But she was on live talking about, I'm going to take you down. You're this, you're that, and you must be stopped. And then there was silence when she realized this man was being for real. And she more than likely was also had a grudge because it was a white man. And we gotta get out of that. We have to get out of that mindset. Um, who else? Who else had like Velvet? Oh, did y'all hear the rant Velvet went on? About this the latest one about Nature Boy being dirty, his balls and everything stinking. Did anybody notice that um she said something about going, she said if you are an ex-member and you're not there anymore and you haven't went to the police and you haven't reported him, but does anybody know for sure that she reported him? Does anybody know for sure that she went to the police? She claims that um his location is not hard to find, but she's still married because she hasn't served him. Audra says, sounds like Star is under Nature Boy's spell, taking down the black man. Exactly, exactly. That's why it was bothering me that he said it. It may have triggered Star. Interesting. Interesting. Because I again, that's a lure. That's a form of manipulation. 7 people in here. 7 people in here right now. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my videos. How many of you, the people who are in here, have heard black men make this claim that if you do something to hold them accountable, that you're going against the black man? How many of you have been afraid to report somebody in your community for shooting someone else up, for robbing someone? You know somebody who robbed a person, but you don't want to report them because of this spell that they have placed upon us, that we would be hurting the black man. How many of you know somebody who has been sexually assaulted by a family member or a local community member, but did not report them because you don't want to put another black man in jail? That is the spell that they put us under, not to hold them accountable. How many of you have been physically abused by a lover but did not report them, didn't press charges on them? Look at Maisha. Look at Nature Boy's second wife slash baby mother. Look at Velvet. Look at the first one. Look at Yaya, Pocahontas, whatever their real names are. You've heard it exactly. You've heard it all your life. All your life. And it gets programmed into our minds day after day after day, circumstance after circumstance. And so you're wondering, well, when do I report them? When do I hold them accountable for hurting me? And that is a part of manipulation. We may not have cult leaders in our community, but we sure as hell got narcissists. Yes, that is the spell, and they get to stay in arrested development while everyone takes on the mommy role. Exactly, exactly. And so you spend your life healing another woman's child. You spend your life healing another woman's child while you got your own to take care of because they can't let go. Ooh, this is a plug. And so, you guys, if you haven't already, go to Amazon, purchase my book, 15 Steps to Finding Love. 15 Steps to Finding Love, A Woman's Journey. I promise you, I promise you that book is going to help you realize your self-worth, your power. You should not be taking care of another woman's child unless you adopted that child. You should not be taking care of a grown man like he is a child. And it's easy to believe when we see the racism perpetrated against them. The gag is we are only seeing their victimization by the white man and ignore our own victimization. Oh my gosh, you know what? I have to do this. For those who are listening in, please read this comment. Read it, absorb it. If you are a male in here, I would love to hear your perspective. But this is how we feel. This is how a good portion of us feel. Oh, thank you, Audra. Booty, yes. This is how we feel, ladies. This is how we feel, gentlemen. If you are in here, if you're listening, learn something. We are tired. We are exhausted. And we are constantly running to you to be our savior. Y'all tell us, do not stop being independent. The white man wants you to be independent. Stop being independent. Come run to us. We'll protect you. And then we run into the arms of Nature Boy. We run into the arms of Dr. Umar Johnson. We run into the arms of quote unquote Brother Polite. There are so many. There are so many of these narcissists, these men who haven't grown, who haven't healed, who haven't dealt with their own traumas, with their own mothers, with their own fathers, accepted the experiences that they've experienced, that they've had. And we're left to suffer. We're left to heal ourselves and suffer and try and pick up not only our pieces but theirs. We're trying to pick up their pieces for them. When they get out of jail from shooting somebody up, why is that my responsibility? Why is that my responsibility? You chose your fate. We lived in the same ghettos, many of us. The difference is you decided that you was going to stand on that corner instead of getting I mean, come on, let's think about it. I'm going to tell y'all something about me, my personal me. I grew up in the streets with my friends, my neighborhood friends. But guess what I started doing? When I got to high school, cuz middle school, was a little rocky, getting into all kinds of stuff with my male counterparts. We all hooky, we all had fun, party, all that. But something when I got to high school, I wanted to learn. That had nothing to do with the white man. Yes, Audra. That had nothing to do with the white man. That was me holding myself accountable. What am I going to do after this? What's next? What do I like to do? I started asking myself questions. I started asking the people around me questions. And you at some point you had to say, okay, they don't want me in their world, even if it's the white man, whoever. They don't want me in their world, then I'll make my own fucking world. I'll become my own boss. I can't get a job, I'll become my own boss. That don't mean give up and stand on a corner. That don't mean give up and start doing crack, start smoking weed, robbing people. That's the difference between black women, quote unquote black, and quote unquote black men. Is women, they say that women had too many emotions. No. I'm gonna tell you the difference between men and women. Women have mastered their emotions. Women have mastered the art of multitasking. They have mastered the ability to adapt. And they are very critical thinkers. You have to look forward in order not to go backward. And men, like Nature Boy, continue this cycle, this repeated cycle of trash, of toxicity, of nothingness, because they don't know how to move forward. They don't know how to pick up the pieces, the little bit of pieces that you have, the cards that you are dealt with, good or bad. You sift through the ones that you can play. You sift through your hand and you figure out the ones you can play and you play them. There are so many scholarships to go to college for African Americans, males specifically, because colleges get grant money for having African American males. If you say, okay, college is not for me, that's fine. They have trade schools. If you say, trade schools are not for me, guess what? You can be an entrepreneur. You don't got to end up being a drug dealer or a stripper, like in Nature Boy's case, a prostitute. They say black women are given these opportunities so that they can go against their black man. I just named 3 things where I would not have to do anything if I chose not to. You have the power to take care of me. Going to either college, a trade school, or starting your own business. And for some reason they don't see any of it. But when they get locked up for robbing somebody, do 10 to 20 years, get out, and all of a sudden, I gotta understand your plight. I gotta get on hands and knees and beg you to be my king. Where they do that at? We are more emotionally in tune. Do you think it is nature or nurture? We don't allow boys to cry or be emotional, and then we end up with monsters sometimes as men. Who doesn't allow boys to cry? If you are a woman and you don't allow your son to cry, then yes, you are part of the problem. I have 2 boys. You know what I tell them? I say it's okay to cry. But what's more important is what you do after you cry. Now you can sit and wallow in those tears, or you can use your words to communicate how you feel, why you're upset, why you're crying, and we can we can find a solution as to making you feel better. That's what you tell your boys. You don't even if it's a boy or a girl, you make them stronger by allowing them to cry and then moving on with a solution to feel better, to do better, to have more positive thoughts. And that's why my name is Real Talk Paula. Hey. Yes, and the tea is definitely the best. Absolutely. Oh, thank you. Exactly, foodie. You gotta let them cry because that's an emotion. And if you try to turn that emotion off, oh my God, we're gonna have more serious problems. We're gonna have more nature boys Check out my videos, you guys. 8 people in here. Check out my videos. I have a video with that as well. Um, being more affectionate, showing more ranges of emotion to your boys, the same way you do for your girls. When I was growing up, boys couldn't cry even when hurt, or they would get teased and teased relentlessly. Absolutely, absolutely. I've seen it myself. I've seen a mother. I was a substitute teacher. I am a substitute teacher. Um, but when I wasn't, off on maternity leave, um, I witnessed on my way into one of the schools a mother punching her child, telling her to stop crying like a bitch. And I don't even want to put that in the universe. I'm not going to say the word, but that's what she said to her son. And those become our drug dealers. Those become our um, armed robbers, money launderers, whatever it is that they do. Those become our womanizers, because the woman is the teacher. We are the teacher. I don't know why I got all of these male gurus running around. We are the teachers. That's our job, for sure. And yes, I think it's both nature and nurture. I think it's a combination. Women naturally, hormonally have more chemicals in our body to be able to express more emotions, to have more emotions, a range of emotions chemically. And when it comes to nurture, we develop ways on how to, um, deal with those emotions, how to harness those emotions, how to turn those emotions into, into something greater into our lives. They are headed straight to prison. They have been treated like animals. Yes. And the people who are treating them like animals are the people who are supposed to be raising them, nurturing them. Yes. And say they grow up hating women. When you see women, and this is, I'm calling it how I see it. If you are offended by this comment that I'm about to make, please, I beg you, move on. Take the information, take the knowledge, and be better. When I see women at the bars, when I see women working 2 and 3 jobs, guess what you're doing? You're creating the next nature boy. That's food for thought. When you take away quality time, you're creating the next nature boy. When you choose alcohol and men over your sons, you're creating the next nature boy. For those who do drugs right now, I don't know if anybody on here does drugs. If you have done drugs in the past and you lost your children due to those drugs, or you left your children in the house or with somebody that they didn't trust or feel safe around, guess what you just did? Guess what you've done? You're creating narcissists who hate you, who hate women, because in every woman they see you. Yes, we have to make sacrifices as women, and it can be hard sometimes, especially when we are by ourselves. Especially when we are by ourselves. And sometimes that sacrifice means not going out to the club all the time. Sometimes that sacrifice means not having the latest brand of shoes or pocketbooks, but it's worth it. It's worth it in the end. Look at Malia. Look at Malik. She has a son who will never understand the choice that she just made. He will hate her for the rest of his life. Aya's son, I'm not, and I'm calling them by their carbonation names, but we all know their real names. Tanisha, Portia, their sons will hate them because they got boys. They will hate them for the rest of their lives because they will not fully understand. If you look at Black Ink, everybody remembers what was her name? Sky from Black Ink. Who remembers Sky from Black Ink? I know y'all saw it, especially when you're the sole parent and not bringing every man you date. Yes, and not bringing every man you date to be around your children, because those men ain't gonna care about your child. You gotta go. I will watch the playback. Have a good night, everyone. Good night, Foodie. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for coming, and make sure you hit the like button. But if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. But thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, so yeah, so Sky from Black Ink Crew, whatever it was called. Um, she had two boys. One she thought was going to love her, right? When she decided to be a part of their life, but she chose drugs, she chose men, and her quote unquote freedom over them. And when she finally decided I want to be a mother, when she finally decided I want to be a mother, they hated her. Even now, they hated her. And so Sky is another one, narcissistic. And we forget that women can be that. We forget that women are that because they cry. You see them cry. Again, narcissists have emotions, Audra, and that's kind of going back to what we were talking about in the beginning. Narcissists have emotions, but it's internal. It's for them. She's crying because she can't understand why they won't forgive her, as opposed to crying because she took so much of from them by not being with them. Does that make sense? Yes. They saw her living her best life, getting rejuvenation vaginas and getting lipo and traveling all over, the United States, going to different places. So, what time is it? How long I've been on here? Okay. So, yeah, I just wanted. That's pretty much what I wanted to, talk about, to sidetrack a little bit, um, and talk about the manipulation and kind of get into manipulation. We have to understand that, a part of what is happening to these young women, a part of what happens to young women everywhere, everywhere, is this manipulation. You're being lured in, pulled in by this narcissist because they have a rank. They are able to tap into emotions. They're able to use those emotions, your emotions. They're able to use your emotions against you. If you're an empath, someone who cares about others very deeply, somebody who is very sympathetic or empathetic, somebody who is um, what? Somebody's very empathetic, um, and someone, people who are naive, people who don't know, or they've been hurt, somebody who's been hurt, they use that against you. They take those emotions and they try to relate them to their own pain so that they can take advantage of you. And that's male or female. So it's your job to recognize those things. It's your job to understand who you are so that you won't be manipulated. Because manipulation can be to lure you in, it can be to push you out, it could be to draw you back in, it could be to make you feel some way about a person that you don't even know. Like how most of us feel about Velvet. So, yeah, that is what I wanted to talk about for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed my live. I hope that it was helpful, that it was informative, that it was entertaining, and that you got something out of it. Um, Let me know if you what you want the next live to be about. Unfortunately, we didn't have the guests on here today, and that's okay. If anybody wants, we got 4 people left. If anybody wants to come up and say something real quick before I get off, if you want to give your channel, if you have a channel and you want to give it a shout out, you can do so. Um, if you want to know about any channels to watch so that you can stay updated on the whole carbonation thing, just put it in the chat and I'll let you know. Check out the tea for sure, for sure. Would you say, Audra? I saw how emotional she was. I think it's harder for me to spot female narcissists because they don't appear so cold. Exactly. Yes. 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 Yes, Audra. They are, wolves in sheep clothing, unfortunately. But you'll be able to spot one if you are around one often or long enough. This was really great. I'm so happy. Oh, I found your channel. I've subscribed and learned a lot tonight. Thank you. Thanks to you and everyone. Have a great night. Have a wonderful night. For those who are just coming in, sorry, you got to catch the replay. Hit the like button if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. Check out my other videos. I just downloaded a video today. I just dropped one. Tell me what you think about it. Leave a comment in it. And since no one has made any suggestions for the next live, you'll just see what I have for the next live. Um, and we'll be, covering more on, what is going on and how we can take that into our real lives, how we can grow from this and actually get something out of the atrocities that we are viewing every day. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Audra. If you get the book, please now you have to stay in touch. You have to come to my lives or whatever so that I can know how the book resonated with you, because it is a workbook, and so I'm a teacher. You have to do some work. Got to put in that work, and I promise you will be satisfied. I hope you're satisfied. And it will do something to you, spark some kind of emotion. Hopefully it's good. And so I need you to give me your feedback on it. All right, you guys. If there's nothing else anyone wants to say, I'm going to say good night. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. If I don't go live tomorrow, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And stay safe, you guys. Do not let carbonation suck and drain your energy. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? All right, everyone. Peace. Have a wonderful night. Thank you, Audra, for being an active participant tonight. Right.